Good morning, everybody. Le'iluin Nishmat, Aliza Faiza Bat Yosef Naim Vesalima. Now, it's very interesting that we actually have three parts of Shabbat. Now, the three parts of Shabbat, the first is in the night, Erev Shabbat, and that is it's exactly parallel to Bereshit. Why is it parallel to Bereshit? Because the bride, that's the SHECHINAH, that's Am Yisrael, who the SHECHINAH represents, Am Yisrael is the bride, and HASHEM is the groom. So the bride is waiting, as usual, and the Midrash says that she says, look, every day of the week, just like in Bereshit, every day has a mate. And it matches up. Yom Rishon, Yom Sheni, we know exactly what happened on those days. And where's mine? So HaShem said, yours is Am Yisrael. That's your mate. And you will nurture each other and develop each other. And of course, this is represented in the husband and wife, that they're there not only to love each other and to take care of each other, but also to be that partner with HaShem, and at the same time to nurture and help each other to go forward in life. And that's extremely important. Now, I am telling my story many times, which I've told you what happened in Hawaii, what happened in Singapore, what happened in South Africa, and many other places, where here somebody is not keeping Shabbat. And Shabbat is so holy, so powerful. Keeping Shabbat gives us a promise of everything. It's all the merits. And I always said to them, I guarantee you that you do not have to worry about your parnassah. And you'll also find an early bride. You'll get married or a husband and you're a proper soulmate. But you have to publicize it to everybody that it's Shabbat. Now, we on Friday night also make Kiddush. Kedushat Shabbat is we sanctify the wine, and it says that why do we do this? And you should remember it. Remember it, that means also broadcast it to everybody. So they broadcast it to everybody, and that's what I was talking about. You have to broadcast it. Otherwise it has no effect. And then it says 6 days you've got to work. 6 days you've got to work now. But it says you have to complete that work in the sixth day. And I mentioned yesterday, that is the limit. Lunchtime, that's it. No brain pollution on Shabbat. No thinking of it. No, next week is another week, Maaseh Bereshit. And that's how we have to follow through. But it says that, Shabbat v'yinafash. He says, I want you to stop everything. That means creative work, but v'yinafash, and I'll send you another soul to give strength and to rebuild and recharge your soul during Shabbat, just like I've done. That's why it says it isn't, v'yinafash is not rested. V'yinafash does not mean resting. V'yinafash means that Hashem gave a soul to Am Yisrael. V'yinafash. You've got that soul, you've got the extra soul on Shabbat, absorb it, feel it, and that is why it's important. Now, there are different zones, because Shabbat has a special effect, as I said, the zodiac, but we're living all over the world, so it has different zones, and those zones affect us in different ways. And of course, I like to, you've got again, Hawaii, I was there, and exactly on the line. Actually, Shabbat is also Friday and Shabbat, so really you should keep 2 days Shabbat, but you can't do that. So what you do is you decide that it has to go according to Yerushalayim's time, because that's where our real mazal is. And I did that several times. And in Singapore, where I lived, was the same thing. And what's more, Shabbat went in and out exactly the same time every week, every single week. You could predict it, and it was very, very useful, because it was a good time as well. And the land of the midnight sun, what happens over there, right? Because then they also go according to Yerushalayim, because it's not a matter of keeping one day, they have to keeping another day. And the story is told about the religious astronaut that goes up in the spaceship And of course, he's going round and round and round the earth, so he's got to put on tefillin, take them off, put on tefillin, shachrit mincha mariv, repeating, and the poor guy is tired. But in actual fact, we know the din. Again, he goes according to Yerushalayim. But Shabbat is a complete togetherness with all five. Who are the five? HASHEM, Shabbat, husband, wife, children, and of course friends. That's why we go to Beit Knesset, that's why we mix with other people, and it's supposed to be a Shabbat of caring and sharing, concentrating on each other and nothing else. And that's why on Friday night we have many zmirot, many songs. Of course, L'cha Dodi is well known, and it's such a beautiful one, and we have to analyze it and look in depth. But that is for another shiur. And the other zmirot all have a meaning. Zmirot are tfilot. And as there's so many times, it is a pruning. It helps us to regrow. So we have to take it seriously. Singing, Torah, learning, special meals. And we come to the next day, the morning is different. The morning is Mashiach. Mashiach, that's the morning. That's the expression. In the morning, Mashiach comes. And then for us, you think you have to have the same meal? Oh no. It's got to be even more special. Even more special. That's why a lot of people like chamim and shouldn't, because you had to keep it all night, because you can't pass fire, and that's something special that people look forward to. But a lot of people don't know. Friday night, you're not. It's not an avodah. You don't get punished for it. But it says it's not simcha. You shouldn't do that Friday night. Save that simcha for Shabbat itself. Anyway, it hadn't stayed overnight yet. So we have that great feeling, and then in the afternoon is already Geula, redemption. We're afternoon, and that is why we say the special Kiddush over wine, not in the beginning, in the middle. And there we say to Hashem, those people who keep the mitzvah of 3 Su'udot, this third one where you're not really hungry, you've eaten in more than enough the whole of Shabbat, and you're not hungry, but still the big mitzvah to say it, because, and it says, one of the big things going to happen to you, it will cover you and cancel out all the ma'achalot asurot, all the forbidden food you took. What do you mean the forbidden food? I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm not eating kosher. It's not that. There are times in your life where you have no choice. On Yom Kippur, it's forbidden to eat. But if you're ill or in danger or there's a war, then you have to eat. It's the mitzvah reverses itself. And in many, many other cases, you're in hospital, you had an operation, you're in jail, many, many things. You need a meal, you strengthen yourself, and then it becomes, you have to. So that's what it means, ma'achalot asurot. And that is why that Kiddush in the afternoon, in the middle, so there's no misunderstanding. Why? Because Kiddashnu Shabbat already in the morning and last night. So we don't need to do that. The Kiddush is there, and of course we're coming near to the end of Shabbat. Now, of course, then, it also, why is it the Geula? Because it's the time of the temple. During the temple time, we had to have afternoon sacrifices, in fact, MUSAF sacrifices, right? And that had to be brought in the afternoon every single day. So this reminds us, because that also gives us strength to carry on. Now, I like to end with a story. It was a very poor, starving worker. I mean, they really starved. It was so difficult for them. And he says to his wife, look, we're young. Let's work hard. Let's cut down on everything and let's save. Our target is 500 ruble. Then we can go buy a farm and then we'll be comfortable and then we'll be okay. So his wife agreed, and it was very, very tough. But after a few years, they had the money. Anyway, he now goes to look for a farm. The whole week he's looking for a farm and doesn't find a farm. And the poor guy, it's now AND.SHABAT, and he's in the town of Chernobyl, where the famous seer Rav, the Chernobyl Rav, right, was living. And he realized he can't carry the money. He's got to walk home, take him a long time. So he went into the Rebbe and he says, look, I'm stuck. I can't carry this money. What shall I do? Can I leave it with you? And the Rebbe says, of course you can. But tell me the story. And he told him the whole story, and that was it. And the Rebbe says, where are you going to be for Shabbat? He says, no, I'm going to be. It'll take me a long time to get home. He says, no, you stay here and spend Shabbat with me. And he had a wonderful, wonderful holy Shabbat. You can imagine what experience it was. But just before that, a poor widow came in crying to the Rabbi, "You've got to help me, it's urgent. My husband died, there is a lot of debts to pay, I'm not going to have a Shabbat, I'm not going to have anything in my life, and you must help me. And also, our daughter is going to get married. How can she be disappointed because she has no money for the wedding? And then she loses it, might not give another opportunity because we have no money at all." So he said, the young man says, "Look, I'm young, I can carry on, I can do it again. Here, I want to give you the money." So the Rebbe says, "Absolutely not. You're not allowed to do that. I will find it, but you're not allowed to do that." And he still gave her the money. He gave her the money, and the Chernobyl Rebbe said to him, "Listen, it is such a fantastic mitzvah, such a beautiful mitzvah. It's worth all the money. I'm going to give you a bracha, a blessing. And that is, just like you fulfilled the 3 mitzvot here, and that was hachnasat kala, helping a bride to get married, and also at the same time helping a widow to have money to pay her debts and live comfortably. And the third thing is that she should keep Shabbat properly. And my blessing is, for the rest of your life, you and all your descendants will always be able to keep Shabbat, and at the same time, you will always have money, you will have a lot of wealth, and the third thing is, there will be no problem generation after generation of them getting married, and getting married at the right age. So what happened was he suddenly became actually very rich. How it is, it's a story on its own. And he became rich and he started to donate a lot of money to the Rebbe. Anyway, in Chernobyl, the Nazis moved in, and what they did there, we all know it was a terrible thing, and it's written in history. And he and his family escaped to America. America, penniless, nothing. Within a very short time, he was comfortable, he was rich, and he was okay, and the family, they started marrying off the kids. The Rebbe also managed to get out to the United States, and there, of course, here was this man and helped him with everything to build his institutions, and it went on for generations even till today. And that's why this story is well known, that was it was. It has a blessing. So what's the blessing for today? Obviously, to everyone. That you should have the opportunity to help people, to persuade people to keep Shabbat and to broadcast it. That every Shabbat, it should be a valuable Shabbat. That you will be able to help bride and groom get married, a young who have no money, or they need help, or they need encouragement, or they need guidance. And on top of that is tzedakah. It's 10%, which doesn't belong anyway. And if you don't have money, then you give of your time and your knowledge and your help and your love and your caring and your sharing. That is the blessing, that every one of us should have those opportunities and receive those blessings, and we'll have a wonderful day. Thank you.